All right, and then we have some really funny live on Instagram. We have some really funny photos of you and I waiting to do that.
Dude, I feel like I'm
like an idiot.
I'm the worst. You and Sam are always like,
hi.
And I'm like it's not good.
I love it. I think it's great.
It is what it is.
So Wednesdays, 10 o'clock, live with the Dahlia Group ladies.
Yeah.
So we are interrupting our current series.
Which is purchase types, right?
I lied. We finished.
We're done with that. Yeah. Manufacturer was the last one.
That was the last one I did. Yeah. And we're starting our new series next week. So in the meantime, today is our quarterly maintenance update, right? So once a quarter, obviously, at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
What do you do? You guys, what's your maintenance? Cool.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you do? What do we do? How should you handle things?
We learn some things.
We do learn some things, which is very exciting because I don't know. Sometimes you don't know until you know, and then you do it, and you're like, yeah, this is what we should be doing, and then it isn't what you should be doing.
Yeah.
So
we definitely had one of those moments a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And we'll go over it. So we're gonna do exterior and interior maintenance for spring. So for exterior, we're going to start with your roof. Let's go up to down, right? Make sure you check your roof. Obviously, even if it didn't take a beating from snowy conditions and things like that, you're still going to want to take a look for damage of any kind, right?
We've had a lot of windstorms recently. A lot. Like I went through my yard the other day and I saw like a half a shingle and I was like, I wonder where that came from.
Yeah.
So it's inside. If you even if you have the insulation, right, you're looking for any kind of like water that's coming through that, right? You're looking for the shingles. You're looking like
any kind of leaking that could have possibly happened, any sort of cracking even on shingles, be it asphalt or slate.
Yeah.
Especially with the high winds that we had. I know a few of my clients' homes that have these beautiful old slate roofs.
Yes, my sister's big with that.
Right. That even though they're so hardy and sturdy, there's the chance of something going wrong, right? So definitely check that. Signs of leaking. Fall down. Oh my gosh, everywhere.
Yeah, so you
particularly just, down where we are.
Oh yeah, I mean there are trees everywhere, and the old big trees that even if it's just a couple of branches that's sitting on there, if it's if it gets under. Whatever. There's a million things that are happening with the roof.
They're going to cause all kinds of issues. Now, the one thing that we both found very interesting that we learned today, right, is that obviously when it's springtime, like consider removing stains and things like that just for cosmetic purposes. That's all that matters. But if you notice something like moss can actually cause damage and you really need to clean it. Now, something we did not know. If it's a slate roof, don't worry about this. If it's a slate roof, go ahead, clean it however you want to clean it. If it is an asphalt shingle, do not pressure wash or scrub the shingles because you will damage them. We didn't know that. That's something interesting.
Yeah.
So what you're supposed to do apparently is clean it off with a solution of bleach and water for about 15 minutes or so, and then just rinse it off.
Yeah, I mean, if you knew that, I'm super proud of you, but
Seriously.
I did not know that.
I had no idea. I always just assumed,
I was like, power wash it. Why would you not be able to power wash your roof? You know what I mean? But I guess
you can.
It does make sense. Asphalt shingles, I can't talk. Yeah. Again, every Wednesday, I feel like this is just a pattern for me. It makes sense. They break apart, right? So they do. So I mean, it makes sense that you're not power washing that section.
Yep. So no pressure washing or even just like scrubbing it. Saying like don't
just soak it in bleach.
Yep. Soak it in bleach and water and then rinse it off. So definitely any kind of staining or anything like that is going to be solely cosmetic on your roof. But again, asphalt shingles, slate shingles, moss.
Yeah, we look for the bowing of the asphalt shingles if that's something that's happening on more than a certain percentage of your roof. Yep. Definitely have someone come out and take a look at it, things like that.
That's one thing. Also, glad you said that. we're going to start this with saying before we go any further, always contact a professional.
Oh, 100%. Always contact a professional.
We're professionals at being realtors.
I mean, right.
However, we know this information, but it is not our expertise. No. So anything that we tell you here, always, if you find something, contact a professional. Yeah. And if you need a professional, let us know. Because we have a great list of recommended professionals that we give to our clients because they've done amazing things for us.
Yeah.
So
and they'll be able to guide you in the right direction as to what is needed, whether it's a spot check, whether it's a cleaning, whether it's a nothing, whatever it is. Cutting the trees down around the property, maybe that's the solution. Yeah. So
some of those. So just let us know if you need help finding a professional.
Yeah.
Okay. So roof, next, let's go. Gutters, right? Gosh. So same thing as going into the fall season, right? Make sure you clean all of that debris, any of the downspouts and gutters that may have leftover leaves in them. I know my house, we installed gutter guards last year, but you still need to clean them. Right. Stuff still gets not stuck under it, but on it. Yeah. Or just look. Just look at your stuff. So even if you have those gutter guards, obviously with the winds, older houses, things like that, newer houses too, whatever, gutters may come detached. Some kids riding their bike down the street and they run into it. Who knows? There's all kinds of reasons why they may come detached. So make sure that they're all reattached so that your water is flowing properly away from your house. Obviously, if there's any sort of sagging or repairs that need done, make sure that's the thing too. But the most common thing you're going to find is just to make sure that your debris
is out of there.
It's all out of there.
And check your spout too, right? Yes. Make sure it goes far enough away. They have those extenders that you can get to make sure it's going far enough.
You're not just dumping the water right at the bottom,
right into your basement, and then the other thing I see in Lancaster is some people still have old gutters, like the gutters themselves.
Yes, they're awesome.
Old, almost like
a lot of them are on the slate roofs.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. They are beautiful, but
make sure you check your gutters.
You gotta just make sure you check them out.
Yeah. Absolutely. And they're absolutely beautiful too. So obviously the more preservation, the better.
Exactly.
So your roof, your gutters, concrete, cracking along driveways, right? From obviously the weather, the temperature's getting colder, warmer, etc. Things are going to expand and contract and cause issues. So you're going to want to check along your driveway if you have a pool, obviously, and any kind of walkways.
Yes.
If there are any holes or anything along those lines, you can just caulk them.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's one of the recommendations that they use. It's like a concrete caulking.
Yeah.
Can you say that? It says that you can use silicone or concrete, depending obviously on what it is. But if they're beyond a fix, like we mentioned earlier, of course, consider replacing, but always contact a professional in case there's something else that they could do for you before you would go that route.
I would say with the cracks, when the grass starts growing up in that, you gotta take care of that. Otherwise, if it keeps growing, it's just gonna keep opening that crack up. So maintaining that by spraying some sort of vinegar mixture on it in the middle of a really nice day, or doing if you want to do something more natural that way, or if you are okay with doing some sort of extreme pesticide. I had a brick pathway, and then I had a stone pathway out front when I owned my house out in Harrisburg, and I tried so hard to be as natural as possible, but it just got to a point where I was like, I can't.
So the best natural way to do that, and I used to live in a tiny home in the property we helped take care of. Highest Bill and Duncan. Love you guys. Had a giant brick patio. And so what they did was basically, they called it the weed dragon. All it was a giant torch.
No way.
And we walked around.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And just
that makes sense.
And then that way we weren't using, because they wouldn't use any kind of pesticides. Nice. They use nothing with chemicals in their house. All their cleaning is vinegar-based or alcohol-based, etc. So we used the weed dragon and walked around the property.
That's actually not a terrible idea.
No, it was made for that. I think it's actually called a weed dragon.
That's really
the setup we used. But anyway, so just a tip. I mean, don't
Again, professional, please.
Yes. Don't go catching shit on fire. Sorry. So yeah. No, but that was awesome, and it worked really well.
Yeah, I did like a vinegar. I forget what the mixture and ratio was exactly, but I did a vinegar mix. But the catch with that is you have to do it on a day that is bright and sunny and above 70 degrees outside, because then it like kills it, and it really works really well. But you can't do it at any other time, at any other day. If the clouds are out at all, if it's like you can't do it later in the day, like you have to do it first thing in the morning and have it. And then, but it was good, like it really worked, but it's just a matter of like time.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's good to know.
Pinterest, that stuff, man.
Yeah, seriously. But I will say, I mean, I loved the weed dragon.
Oh, that's a great idea. I never even would have thought of that. I've never thought of
their patio space, so the room that we're in right now, their patio space was probably about 5 of these rooms.
Oh, wow.
And then walkways as well. So we were like...
Yeah. You can't, I mean, and that's too much.
You had to do a lot at once. It was a lot.
But the grass growing through the cracks is really a sign that it's, it's going to weaken that. So making sure that that's dead and it doesn't keep growing is a good thing.
Yep. Okay, concrete. So faucets, outdoor faucets. So those of you who hopefully didn't forget to detach your hoses over the wintertime. Let's start there.
Yeah, we did do that last time. Last one.
So if you forgot to detach them, good luck with that.
Yeah, or draining them. Yeah, you should have drained it, rolled it up, made sure all the water was out of your hose.
I will be very, very honest. We didn't drain ours, but we unhook everything.
Yeah.
But if you need assistance with anything like that, again, obviously let us know. But make sure that you test your outside faucets. Make sure that they're running properly. Make sure that there is enough pressure.
Yeah.
So an easy way to tell is just to put your finger over the faucet when it's running. And if the water stops completely, then there's not enough pressure.
But if it squirts you in the face.
Right. It should be exactly. It should be able to come around your finger. Like you should not be stronger than the water pressure. So if you
that's a good, I like it. I like it a lot.
So if you put your finger over it and it stops, then the pressure is not hard enough, right? So it's just an easy way to tell.
That's really funny. Another thing with when it comes to water and knowing looking at your water bill from the winter time to the summertime or the springtime to realizing whether, now if you have a well, obviously it might be a little bit different, but to realize whether you have any kind of leaks in your system, to kind of compare month over month and year over year. So look at your last year water bill and see if it's in comparison. But if it's high, you're like, what's going on? You might have a leak.
What's going on?
Yeah, you might have a leak. And then the water pressure outside will also kind of indicate that sometimes too. So keep an eye on those things. Funny aside. But
you ever see that video where the cat flushes the toilet over and over and over again, and the owners are trying to figure out why their water bill did that because they were looking for a leak? No. And they put a camera in the home, and it turned out that their cat was flushing the toilet and watching it go down and then doing it again.
That's the funniest
thing
I know.
I've so you say that and I'm like, these people did that, and then
That's so funny. But so just keep an eye on that. And then so the water pressure will also tell you that sometimes too. If you have like air in your line or anything like that when you turn on your faucet outside. Yes. Again, professionals.
Yes. So air conditioning systems, right? Any kind of debris that might be around your air conditioning system, make sure that that's all cleaned up. Make sure that you're replacing any filters, cleaning your ducts, vents, etc. I know, for instance, my house runs on, we don't have central air, we have mini splits. So we do regular cleaning of, the filters and everything within the mini splits. But when it comes time for like the seasons to change, right? So we haven't turned our air on yet because we know we want to do a deep clean of our systems before we switch from heat to air, etc. So just making sure that nothing's clogged, everything's cleaned out, all the debris around them is cleaned out. Obviously, anything that's within your filters that could be blocking is going to lead to a lower air quality, and nobody wants that.
Backing out all those ducts or what you can see at least.
And then also, obviously, it's pretty important, but I there's a note here even that like it can lower your consumption, your energy consumption by up to 15% by making sure that all of that is super clean. Hi, Sam. and all of that's unclogged. So just make sure that you have your schedule for your quarterly at minimum of going in and doing that. Yep. Our next exterior note is for your deck, right? So this is where we can pressure wash.
Yes.
Don't pressure wash your roof, but pressure wash your deck if you need to. Obviously, look for things like water stains, warping, any kind of discoloration, things like that. In the process of all of this, make sure there aren't any rusty nails or anything like that sticking out, so watch your feet. I know everyone's going to be tempted to run around barefoot. I barely wear shoes in the spring and the summertime unless I'm at work. So just watch your feet.
Yeah.
Get your
replace the boards that need to be replaced, stain the decks or paint them if they need to be stained or painted. This is the time to do something like that. I think it's like every other year, every 3 years or something like that, you really should be staining or painting a wood deck.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
It's we used to do
my parents all the time too, but I don't know.
Yeah, and it helps preserve the wood too when you do that. So you're giving your deck more life if you're doing that. Otherwise, you're just like the wood will start warping.
Yeah, I was gonna say obviously it'll start to lift, and you can obviously if you don't treat it properly, you then bring on rot issues, things like that too.
Thankfully, a board it's easily replaceable. You can definitely tear it up, replace it. Wood obviously does not last forever outside. You're gonna have to do something.
Speaking
of, look at this.
Yes, repairing and resealing woodwork. Repairing. I think I said it right. And resealing woodwork. So anything like rails, fences, trellises, any other sort of cool wood features that you may have around your house. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure that these structures are good to go. They are, of course, like we just said, prone to decaying, rotting over time, making sure things are treated properly. When it comes to these types of wood and repairs, etc., and cleaning, power washing is recommended to revitalize. It's also recommended, and same thing, we do this with our cutting boards inside our house regularly, but to use oils, to use a wood oil for your decks. What we were just talking about, make sure things like that, any of those wood items that are outside.
Butcher block countertops. Not that this is not a springtime maintenance, but I just went through a house the other day that had butcher block countertops, and they're great. They really are. I think they look really nice, and they're completely functional. You have to maintain those.
You have to keep those oiled.
Like you have to.
Yeah. That's we have all these like big thick wood cutting boards. It's the same idea.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Don't let water sit on it
absolutely not
for any kind of length of time. Don't, blah, blah, so on and so forth.
So the decks, and also during the wintertime when we do have a snow and the plows come by on your fences, like if you have any kind of property lines or anything like that have wooden fences around them, there's a possibility that plow like got a pole or something. I can tell you because I drive past properties on the back end and know what's going. The mailbox, whatever. So those are the things that you're gonna have to repair now and coming into the spring.
So make sure you check out all of your exterior woodwork, not just your decks, but any other sort of woodwork that you have around your home. Sprinklers. So if you have sprinkler systems, obviously give them a test run. That's important. You want to make sure there's no leaks, no sort of malfunctioning sprinkler heads happening. And then obviously you also want to make sure that if anything did
we're holding hands.
If anything if anything did happen over the winter where sprinkler heads got hit or moved or whatever, that your sprinklers are actually sprinkling the grass if you have them, and not your, patio or your sidewalks or your driveway or something like that. So the tiniest little tap of anything, when you were shoveling or doing whatever, may have moved your sprinkler heads. So make sure you check that out as well. Windows and doors. Inspect your windows and your doors and put your screens in if you take them out.
I don't do that.
You don't take your screens out?
I never took. Well, I've double paned new windows. I think maybe when I was growing up, we did that because we had older windows.
We did growing up.
I feel like now with the way that things are, it's not common practice to change those out. I have my windows open right now all the time.
The only screen, the only window and screen that we change out is our front door. We have like a full glass on our front door.
Yes.
And so we swap that out. Now when I was growing up, the type of windows that we had were not the double pane.
Right, yeah.
So we would swap our screens out for the other glass.
Yep.
But those
like
are mostly
storm.
Yep,
Like
the storm windows.
Storm window.
Yep, and that's the same thing on my big screen door.
Yep.
It's a storm window that gets put in.
So at Lancaster, you're going to have some of that where you're going to be changing that out. So now is the time to be putting in your screen.
It's a great time.
You're going to be doing that. Also, the again, right from all the rain and the wind, there's debris on the inside of our windows.
Yeah.
So getting that,
Each of those tracks and those seals and everything are all cleaned and running properly.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And a lot of our old houses here in Lancaster also have the tracks that are the old pole tracks.
Yeah.
Instead of I see those a lot, especially with our speaking of our slate roofs. But have a lot of those really cool pole tracks and make sure those tracks are clean. Yeah.
And they also I think Sam and I talked about this not that long ago. If you need to get them replaced, like if they make them metal chain now, like they'll change them out instead of having like rope, because the rope obviously breaks. But those can be replaced. Like if you need the pulley system inside the windowsill to be replaced, someone can come and do that for you, or you can look up how to do that. Yeah. It's not the easiest, but it's definitely not impossible to do. So
something I'm just learning as we're sitting here is on storm windows they have what are called weep holes. Okay, make sure that they stay clean because they're drains. And the water would pour into your sill and sit there.
You know what? If you
I remember
I
them.
think I have those on my windows, and I don't have I have old window. I don't have old windows. I have new windows, but there's like a little tiny holes over this. So like when it rains and it comes in the screen, it just drains out. But that's also why it gets so dirty in there too.
Right. Yep. Mine do too.
Interesting.
So did my
there
folks.
You go.
I didn't realize that's what they were called.
Yeah. No.
Weep holes.
Yeah. That's great.
That's funny. Obviously, any kind of stagnant water or anything like that, you don't want that near the house. Mosquitoes, things. Yep. No good. Nobody wants that. No one wants that.
It will tell you where your sitting water is that you need to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, our last one for exterior, of course, your lawn, landscaping, things like that, right? So anything that's been overgrown that's going to be an issue, any trees or anything that might be a problem too close to the house, things that may have with the wind slightly come up or fallen down completely, stuff like that. Obviously tidying up flower beds, giving everything just a general facelift, honestly.
Yeah.
It's super important. If you're someone who, some people are big on having like grass lawns versus, I know a lot lately people will now just do like wildflower lawns. So either way, just make sure that everything is good to go and properly like sowed and taken care of.
Yeah. So, all the places have little seedlings. So go out and...
So we were just talking about this earlier. Speaking of lawns and sprucing up garden beds, the Dahlia Group is going to be over at Tudbanks, one of our favorite greenhouses in Lancaster County, on the 29th for the Makers Market. So we definitely recommend that you go check out their selection, and we obviously recommend that you do it when we're there.
It will be fun. We always have fun.
We'd love to see you. And yes, we always have a good time. So Tudbanks is one of our fave places to get that done. Obviously, in terms of landscaping, we also have landscapers on the list that we were discussing earlier. Mm-hmm. If you need any recommendations, let us know. We have plenty of people in the area that we love to work with that would be able to assist you. So that's a big part of that. So that is our exterior maintenance, right? Those are our 10 big things for exterior. We're going to fly through interior. Super simple. Make sure you open your windows and let the fresh air in. Do it.
Oh, and also make sure you turn off your heat.
Do that too.
I like once or twice will like not turn off my heat and open my windows, and then it will be like, oh, you have to turn your heat kicks on because it's below what you.
I did that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes, but let in that fresh air. Yeah. Let it air out your house. Your house has been closed for how many months, right? So bring the fresh air in. It's not going to be chilly. It's also an opportunity to clean your windowsills by, of course, letting that fresh air in. So open your windows. Second, interior maintenance is checking your basement and your attic. Yep. So making sure that there's no signs of moisture,
right?
Any kind of leaks, water stains, obviously mold. Any odd smells like a mold or a mildew, you definitely need to take care of them immediately.
Yeah.
We don't want to allow that to fester or get worse, so you want to make sure that you find out where it is, seal it off, and take whatever precaution is necessary. Yep. In that instance, if it's something serious, obviously, again, contact a professional.
Right.
But obviously, check your basements and your attics for moisture, mold, mildew, etc. Mm-hmm. Home safety checks.
We just went over this with the little ones.
Did you?
Yeah, the kids went over the fire safety. So people like were coming to the end of using your fireplace, right? But I mean, there are just other things that happen. Your dryer, we need to clean out dryer vents. We need to clean out this. We need to do that. Yep. And all of those things. Looking what is your I assume this is what they're meaning, like what's your fire safety, where are you going, what's happening, how are these
what's
things,
your plan,
what's your plan?
Where do you go,
exactly.
Especially if you have children and pets in the home, you got to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Like don't make it something scary,
no,
but so that it's something that everybody's on the same page about. So obviously you want to make sure with that all batteries and smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are replaced. You want to make sure your fire extinguishers are good to go, and that the needle is within that green area on your fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I heard you don't just let them sit though. You're supposed to take them and like I heard this.
Really?
Don't look this up, please. But I just saw something that was like you're actually supposed to take them and you're supposed to. Yeah, you're not supposed to like let it sit upside down, but you're supposed to like move it around and then put it back. Like you're not just supposed to let them sit.
That's weird.
I never heard of that either. And then I saw it and I was like, oh no.
I'll be curious if that's a real thing.
Yeah,
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
So make sure your fire extinguishers are within the green, and if that's a thing, do that.
Yeah.
And then obviously making sure that all exhaust fans are working properly.
Right.
Because you do not want that coming back into your home.
Correct.
Cleaning your furnace. Okay.
We did go over this a little bit before.
Yeah.
But yes.
So cleaning your furnace, just like we, over the winter time, it gets a lot more use. Right. It needs to be kept up to date. Everything needs to be like your motors, your filters, anything like that. The blower.
Yep. Intake, output, whatever it is that however your system is working. Yeah.
And of course, if you're not comfortable doing it, get an HVAC professional, right? Yeah. And we have those guys on our list too.
We should have it serviced. Sorry.
Yes, you should.
Right. So you should have it serviced by a professional, regardless of whether you're able to able to replace the filters or not, or whatever. Yeah.
I love it. It's like, if you're not comfortable doing it yourself. Oh well. It is what it is. So, okay, our last one for interior. Considering upgrades. So I don't know about you guys, but when the weather starts to get warm, my little brain wants to fix and do all of the things that are cool to the house and make it more my own. And I know a lot of people during COVID, that was a big thing throughout the entire past couple of years. But I feel like right now it gets warm, everybody's like, let's upgrade, let's clean, let's do all this stuff. So a few of the actual like upgrades that would level up for energy efficiency versus just like making it pretty. Insulation. Right, so making sure that you have insulation in your basement, your crawl spaces, helping it stay cooler in the summertime, right? And obviously retain heat in the winter. Yep. Sealing any kind of ducts or anything like that while you're at it, right? Doors in your windows, obviously consider energy efficient styles if you are at a point where you would need to replace anything. Yeah. Making sure that your storm doors in your windows are in or were in Obviously saves your energy and improves temperature regulation.
Yeah.
So did you know storm windows can reduce your heat loss by up to 50% in the wintertime?
I did not know that.
Either. That's a lot.
That is a lot. Something that I have found helps me is making sure my windows, sounds so silly, making sure all my windows are actually locked, because then it seals the window. I think last winter, not this past winter, but the winter before, I was like, it was so cold, I couldn't figure out why. And I would go by my windows and it was just like blowing the coldest air inside my house. And so and then I went around and locked everything. It was like night and day.
I'm gonna know something real stupid. A couple weeks ago, we had a window open, just barely cracked. And when I closed it, the windows are older. And so when I closed the bottom window, I didn't get it locked right? Yeah. So it pulled the top down. And we had a slit like this across the top. And we're like, why is it so cold over here all the time? And
that happened to me too. Yeah. And then your blind is up there too, so you really don't see it. And then it pushes the air. Oh my god.
We did this. We did the same.
It was the funniest thing. That exact thing has happened to me.
Yeah. It's older style windows, right? It's almost like that window specifically. Now we know that you have to push and pull and then lock, right? Because it's an older. They're all old wood windows in my house. So
nice.
Everything.
Okay. Yeah, my windows are newer and they do that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. They absolutely do that. It's awesome.
Well, now everyone can laugh about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Programmable thermostat. Right? Installing a thermostat that's programmable. It can save you up to 10% a year on your energy costs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My uncle has installed one of these for me, and he was like, you can go through and like literally schedule every time, like, from this time to this time I want it to be this temperature, from this time to this time I want it to be, and just like set it and forget it. And I'm like, it's awesome. It's a little bit of work up front, I'm not gonna lie, but if you can get one of the smart ones nowadays, I think that's a little bit different. I'm talking about like the old press the 5 buttons it was a lot.
Yeah. Programmable thermostats. That's for whatever reason a hard word for me today. And then obviously any type of energy efficient systems and appliances. You're looking at things like, tankless water heaters can be more efficient than a traditional water heater, or a traditional system that has like a reservoir. And obviously, if you don't need to be upgrading these things, in that instance, it would be something like considering insulating your water heater instead.
Oh, right.
Makes it more.
Okay. Yeah. Or maintaining it. That's something. So I didn't realize that hot water heaters can be maintained.
Oh gosh.
Like flushed out, and like the sediment or whatever that collects in there can be flushed. And I don't know.
We all learn things.
I didn't know. Exactly. Yeah.
Obviously, your heating and cooling are your main costs when it comes to your utilities at your house, other than internet. So swapping things out like that for more energy efficient models lowers your bill, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think it's kind of cool that, and this was a big one too. So going to, electric versus gas. I don't know if any of you guys have been seeing, there's a lot of commercials recently, and I love a gas stove, but there have been, when it comes to energy efficiency and when it comes to health and safety, back to the safety section, there's a lot of talk out there about not only because of obviously the flame itself, but because of what it puts out into your air. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. So the more they're finding out, the more they're like, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't. But anyways, so those are just a few upgrades that would be considered energy efficient upgrades. Obviously, if you're like us or like myself, I'm like, pantry, let's reorganize and add wallpaper and do all the things, right? And I think that's pretty typical, but it's a great time to do it.
Yes, it really is.
I don't know. Do you have anything to add That was 35 minutes.
No. I think that, again, right, making sure everything's like cleaned out. I still have a lot of leaves in my yard.
Me too this year.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I think maybe because we didn't get the snow and it didn't like break it down, maybe.
Yeah, I think about that, and then like I don't know, but if you noticed, I noticed for whatever reason this year that a lot of the trees still have the leaves. So I'm like, are they still falling? Like, is that why? Is that why we still have all these leaves? Somebody that knows things about trees.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. But
but yeah, so there, I found that that's something I'm dealing with this year. That's a little bit different than last year. But yeah, like just like cutting everything down, making sure everything's trimmed up. The big forsythia bushes and all, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love all this stuff, but yeah, you did a great job.
Thanks.
She did a great job.
You too. Thanks. Okay, so next week we are going to start a new series. If I'm not mistaken, it's actually going to be some partner spotlights.
I think so.
So we're going to be getting to that next week, but obviously this is our spring maintenance. When it comes time for summer, we will give you guys the top summer maintenance tips for exterior and interior as well. But for any of your real estate needs, anything along those lines, do you want to do it?
Call or text us at 717-333-7045.
Yeah. Or email us at info@thedahliagroup.net. Find us on the web at thedahliagroup.net. Or always hit us up on any of the platforms that you might be viewing this on right now across all of these lovely social platforms. So that's us for this week. We'll see you guys next week, 10 a.m. live on Wednesday. And as always, we are going to try and do this gracefully.
Never works.
Probably not gonna happen. Just smile at it. Bye, everybody. Oh, hold on. That's Instagram's done. Now we gotta go over here. And oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.